Quite an interesting story actually. I was a UPSC aspirant
इंटर एक बार में क्लियर हो गया था.
and I wanted to do something global.
How difficult is the CPA exam?
The CPA examinations have been quite easy.
Why did you think about CPA? Hi everybody, welcome to our Mythbuster Podcast. This is season 4, and today we have the luxury of talking with Miss Paavni Nangia, who is one of my students who's recently cleared her CPA exam. And Paavni की कहानी काफी interesting है, especially her plans for the future that we were discussing, backstage. So Paavni's situation is she's a full-on Delhi girl. She was born and brought up here in Delhi, and you did your schooling here from DPS, which is as Delhi as it gets. And then you went to Jesus and Mary College, JMC, which is very prestigious college to go to in DU, Delhi University. You did your BCom there, right? And then you of course are also a CA Inter student, which I'll talk about that when we get there. And you're also somebody who's recently cleared her CPA exam with an 88, which is a pretty kick-ass score. It's not bad at all. So congratulations. So आज हम जो बात करने वाले हैं, we're going to try and find out a little bit about you, but also a lot about your CPA journey. That's primarily what we're going to discuss. So firstly, let me start off by asking you a basic question. Okay, how would you describe yourself as a student in school? बड़ा घिसा पिटा सवाल है. I know I ask this all the time to all the visitors that come on board, but it helps us all gauge कि यार मतलब childhood days कैसे थे, क्या हिसाब था तब पढ़ाई में. So tell me.
Overall, I've been a very studious student
Okay.
and quite efficient actually.
अच्छा.
I had never put in a lot of hours, but I was quite efficient in what I was.
By efficient you mean number अच्छे आ जाते थे.
हाँ, number
That's the
अच्छा
point. That's good. So I know that you're typically from a commerce background, in the sense 12th में भी वही था, and then you did your BCom honors, which is as commerce as it gets, and then of course you also chose to do your CA. So why did you start that journey?
Quite an interesting story actually. I was a UPSC aspirant
अच्छा.
and I was quite sure I was going to do that after college, but then COVID came and I was quite interested in our syllabus in the final year, but nobody was studying because of exams. So I thought I'll give it a shot. I'll try studying the subjects. And then I liked it so much, I explored what are the degrees associated to these subjects. So then I came across CA because of some friends of mine were pursuing that. And then I read the syllabus and it was quite exciting for me. I was quite interested in that. So I thought I'll just give it a shot. And just as a fluke, I sat for the foundation examination. And thankfully, I cleared that. So then later on, I read the inter syllabus. So my interest started growing in that.
Okay.
And then I started pursuing it in full on.
Okay, so इंटर एक बार में क्लियर हो गया था. हाँ, नाइस. सो देन इंटर एक बार में जिनका क्लियर हो जाता है, वैसे उनको बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस होता है कि अब मैं अपनी सीए तो कर ही लूंगा, राइट. फाइनल भी मैं एक ही बार में निकालूंगा. तो somewhere in the story CPA came along in your journey, and I want to find out why did you think about CPA?
So, we have a very long period of articleship that is 3 years in the old scheme that I started in. So I thought that I'll utilize this, and because I had a flow of academics, so I thought I can do another degree together because after getting into job, it gets difficult. So I thought I'll do another degree, and I wanted to do something global because the world's the oyster now. So I thought I'll do something global, and I was quite interested towards the accounting side of it. So I was exploring between CPA and ACCA. So I heard about CPA from a cousin of mine who was working in a big four company and she was pursuing CPA US. So she told me about it. Then I heard it from a friend as well in college. So I thought that this is a good degree and the market for that is booming. So I'll pursue that.
So you were getting to hear about CPA from different sources. You wanted to do something, so you just picked it up, just like you did with CA. Eh?
Yes, that's true.
Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, you got an 88 in BEC, and by the way, you gave BEC at a point in time where this was phasing out. तो उस समय situation ही ऐसी थी कि even AICP did not want many people giving the exam. So in this window in which you've actually cleared and you've gotten an 88, लोग pass भी नहीं हो रहे थे. So you've got a very good score. But now my whole point is, you tell me, as a CA student as well, how difficult is the CPA exam?
I think because I come from a CA background, The CPA examinations have been quite easy syllabus wise, but the pattern of examination is totally different from what I've been doing in CA. Here, the things are MCQ based, and the CA examinations are quite theoretical. So that was a challenge for me, but I think the syllabus part
But
was
having a
easy.
CA into background did
Yes,
actually help
yes,
you.
it really
उससे
helped
थोड़ा
me.
आसान तो होता है, definitely you can
Definitely.
relate to the subjects a lot easier. That's correct. Okay, so that's good. So difficulty wise, you would say कि it's not as difficult as CA any day.
No.
मतलब वो तो कोई बात ही नहीं होनी चाहिए. Naturally. तो अच्छा यार, what's next for you career wise?
So as of now, after CPA and CA, I'm planning to do ACCA.
Oh, तेरी.
So I want to
So you
have,
want to be a truly global accountant, huh?
yes,
ACCA, CA, CPA.
CPA.
My lord. Okay, that's very very interesting. But and very ambitious, to be very honest. Matlab, you'll have all three qualifications. I hope that day comes when you have all three qualifications, because you will truly be able to service people from across the globe. But what is your end goal? Matlab, why are you doing this? Why are you putting yourself through, three such qualifications?
So my ultimate agenda is to have my own firm
Right.
to serve the clients globally. Like I don't want to have any line drawn.
Right.
So I want to service clients all across the
All
world.
across the globe. And you want to ultimately set up your own,
Yes,
your own
my own
firm,
firm.
your own practice. That makes a lot of sense. It's good. Okay. So coming back to your recent success with CPA, I do actually want to find out what was your study pattern. How did you actually do your CPA preparation?
My pattern has been quite different
Uh,
from what your pattern has been.
Acha. So you
So,
went against my advice. Well, okay, what did you do? Tell me.
so what I did was I went through the classes in first go, then I went through the books. So I understood the whole syllabus first, what it's talking about, what's the flow of the topics. So once I got an idea of the whole picture, then I went through the classes again and started reading the U World books, because then I dived in more into this. And then simultaneously I started attempting the test bank. So
तो
what
मतलब इसमें जो the thing that I usually advise is कि आप अपनी जो preparation है वो practice उसके साथ करते चलो.
topic wise.
So do it topic wise is what I usually guide. But in your case, you are telling me that it helped you to actually go through the whole syllabus once for the subject.
Yes.
For one subject, you did the whole syllabus once. You got a idea of इस subject में क्या होता है, and then you went into the test bank. तो वो ज़्यादा आसानी से हो गया.
Yes.
That would also work out, and I'm glad that it did in your case, because this depends on who you are. For me, my agenda usually is to get the student moving. कि यार मतलब फटाफट से आप अपना प्रेपरेशन शुरू करो. एज एन जब आपने पढ़ाई कर ली है, क्लास ले ली है, तो देन प्रेपरेशन बोलो तो प्रैक्टिस करो, ओटीबी में टाइम स्पेंड करो. इज माय एजेंडा.
In that method, what I learned was that when I started attempting questions, I understood the theory more.
यस.
So
Yes.
I know what kind of questions are going to come. So I read from that perspective.
यस. ये भी उसमें एक एडवांटेज है मेरे प्रोसेस में,
हाँ
जो
जी.
जो मैं रेकमेंड करता हूँ. बट ईदर वेज, whatever works, whatever floats your boat is good with me, right? That's the idea. Okay, so you're actually somebody who's got exposure to the CA qualification as well, and I do have a lot of people who qualified CA and then come to this stage where they're guests at the podcast. But you're actually currently studying, so you also have a unique perspective to share. So as a current student of CA and as a current student of CPA, इन दोनों में की डिफरेंस क्या है? आई एम श्योर कंटेंट वाइज तो बहुत कुछ सिमिलर भी लगता होगा, जैसे देयर टेक्स्ट बुक कंटेंट वर्सेस ours is very similar.
The formulas are the same.
हाँ, exactly, right, that's the whole point. But beyond that, there is a key difference in testing. So how do you describe that?
If we look at the syllabus, there's quite a lot of similarities in that. But when it comes to the exam pattern, it's drastically different. The CPA exam focus more on the application and your presence of mind. It deals with how you'll answer questions in a real case scenario. Whereas CA is quite theoretical and it's very in depth. So it tests your retention power and how much in depth have you studied. It tests that, and it's in a very set pattern of questions. So you know what's going to come your way. But in CPA, it's very different. It's
So
challenging.
CA में I agree. The main point is retention.
Yes.
Is memory is the more important skill there. Whereas अपने CPA में that's virtually the least important skill, because
Yeah.
they're testing other things more. So it's more practical is what you're saying. I agree with that 100%. Yeah. Okay, so काफी सारी हमने बातें कर ली, but with that being said, my last question essentially to you is, what tip would you give to somebody who's looking to start, and you've expressed your interest in, wanting to do your CA, wanting to do your CPA, wanting to do your ACCA, you want to do all three of them, and you want a taste of everything. But I assume that that comes to you because you have the luxury of time. You can put in time. You're a younger person. You have more energy. What if, we don't have the luxury and the time to do all three? We have to pick one. What advice would you give?
I can talk about the three degrees CPA, ACC, and CA. So, what advice I'd give is that first go through the syllabus. That's for sure. How in depth are you willing to go? If you want to cater to the Indian clients primarily, then CA is a very good course to do. And but the drawback to that is it requires a lot of years, effort, and time.
हाँ, 5-6 साल
And
तो minimum का ही नहीं गए.
minimum, and that is something not everybody has. So the other two options come to CPA and ACC. So usme you have to know what kind of clients you want to cater. If US is what you're looking at and the countries that accept CPA, then it's a very good degree because it has lesser number of papers. And the second thing is time is quite less. Essentially, you can do it in 18 months.
हाँ,
That is
or
what I
less actually.
believe.
हाँ.
And the market for CPA is quite booming these, and the return on investment is quite great. That is what I know from the current market standard. So the amount of money and effort that you're investing, it gets returned to you in a very
In a
less
much
amount of time in
much
comparison to
shorter time.
CA and
And
ACCA.
ACCA, correct. उनमें time ज़्यादा लगता है. That's the main
That's
point
true.
there. Correct. Okay, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us, and congratulations again on what a wonderful achievement you had and a great score that you got here. Congratulations on that.
Thank
थैंक यू सो मच व्यूअर्स फॉर वाचिंग. आई होप इस वीडियो से कुछ क्लैरिटी, इस पॉडकास्ट, इस डिस्कशन से कुछ क्लैरिटी आपको मिली होगी about which direction should you choose, and if you do choose to come to the CPA direction, then what it takes to actually become a CPA, किस तरीके का टेस्टिंग पैटर्न है, has sort of been discussed here with us today. And with that being said, if you have any questions, any topics that you want us to discuss, please put it in the comments. We respond to all our comments as and when we can. And we'll create a special podcast if we like what you're saying in the comments. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye. Enjoy your day.